It will not start. Bernie Sanders will not take the stage until about 2 hours. You can see, Greg, the crowd building behind me, and they are letting people in a little at a time. Greg, I'm going to create the scene for you. Right now, we are on South 32nd Avenue and 1st Avenue South. South 33rd is over there. Right now, I'm going to just step out of the way here a little bit so you can see firefighters and their efforts. It was determined after investigators tested the substance that it was indeed cocaine. Well, Greg, this is a bittersweet ending, but it appears that the search for 12-year-old Tava Hawkins has come to a close. We are joined here with Yellowstone County Sheriff Mike Linder. I would give you some of the details, but he's been here and he has them. Welcome to a special documentary on human trafficking. I'm Stella Daskalakis, and I'm standing on the Montana-North Dakota border, home of the Bakken, at one end of the human trafficking chain. I am standing next to rock royalty, Darlene Love. Thank you so much for being with us.
Oh, you're more than welcome. It's my pleasure.
This is incredible. I was looking for my lightsaber today, Greg, but I couldn't find it. These people, and take a look at these wonderful looking people, have been in line since 3:30. Yes, you're seeing right. I am here with actor, writer, comedian, former SNL alum.
Yeah.
Well, not former, you are an SNL alum.
Yeah.
Tim Meadows, welcome to Billings.
Thank you. It's been beautiful here.
We are listening to presidential candidate Donald Trump. We have team coverage today of Donald Trump's rally in Billings. Color 8's Greg Lamont is at the rally listening to the speech. He will join us a little later in the show. Samantha Harrelson joins us now live outside the rally. Samantha? We start tonight with new information in the case of a 26-year-old Butte man convicted earlier this year of killing his father in November 2008 and hiding his body. A judge today sentenced Adam Hatfield to life in prison. An emotional moment between the grieving father of 12-year-old Tava Hawkins and Yellowstone County Sheriff Mike Linder. Since Tava's disappearance in a Huntley Project Irrigation District canal, the search for her was taking place by land, by air, by water, and with the help of the canine unit.
We had people from Laurel to almost Custer out there.
Pretty tragic, you know, everybody came together. Anybody that could find time went and did what they could.
Authorities, emergency responders, and volunteers were devoted to finding Tava since her disappearance while swimming with friends. The water in the canal was starting to be lowered, and about 1:45 in the afternoon, right here, is when someone spotted a body.
The victim was in the middle of the canal and hung up on a structure there, and we didn't want to take a chance of not being able to affect the recovery, so we brought in all of our professional water personnel, and they did a fantastic job. Everything worked very well, and they were able to recover her.
Grief and gratitude are being expressed by people in several communities as a nearly week-long frantic search nears closure.
We've already asked for dental records and that type of stuff so that we can positively identify her. But I guess I can tell you the clothing matched, and so we're confident this is our person.
Tava's father, Robert Nelson, too grief-stricken to publicly respond, tells Color 8 the family appreciates everyone's efforts to find their Tava.
The grandfather was very thankful, very emotional. When he got like that, I got like that, and so I'm sure they're just happy.
Just that she was found, you know, I hope that it gives some bit of consolation to the family.
The crowd at the Montana Pavilion in Billings waited for hours to see and hear Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders.
Here in Billings and here in Montana and all over this country, people are tired of establishment politics and establishment economics. People want real change. People want a political revolution.
The candidate did not appear to disappoint the thousands on hand.
Secretary Clinton and I disagree on many, many issues, but where we do agree is that it would be a disaster for this country if Donald Trump became president.
In a one-on-one conversation before the rally, Senator Sanders, who says he's been to Montana before, talked candidly about the issues important to him and the majority of his mostly 45 and under supporters.
If we don't turn this around, the younger generation today, for the first time in the modern history of America, will have a lower standard of living than their parents.
He emphasized his stance on a handful of issues, including education.
It's not free education. Every time.
Correct me.
All right. If you want to send your kids to Harvard, you're going to have to pay for it. What I am saying is that when we talk about public education in America, public education, we can no longer just talk about first grade through 12th grade, right?
The themes of Sanders' campaign resonated with many on hand, with whom he spent some quality time.
I'm at a loss for words. It was amazing.
As a career politician, he's been consistent, and that's probably why I believe in him so much.
And my hope is that this beautiful state, and let me tell you something, this is a beautiful state. That this beautiful state will help lead the nation into the political revolution. Thank you all.
Stella Daskalakis reporting. The end of the school year means summer break for local students. It also means the end of a long teaching career for a much-loved science educator in Billings.
I love rocks and minerals, and I have a degree in geology, and I love to have things out. Everything in this room that's out, the kids can pick up and look at, and I want them to be curious about things and pick them up and make observations.
For 30 years in the confines of a classroom, but in the great caverns of young minds, science teacher Denise Lord has been jumping from rocks to oceans to glaciers and elsewhere to teach students about the wonders of the outside world.
What layer of the atmosphere do we live in? The troposphere.
She's just such an amazing teacher, and she really connects everything to real life scenarios, like to help us understand it better.
Okay, what did you guys come up with?
On this day, it's a class of eager to learn freshmen at West High School who are hanging on to Mrs. Lord's every word in her Earth Sciences class.
Now, if I were to touch this glass beaker, would it be cold or hot, or what would it be?
Whenever is really like out of hand, that everyone listens and everyone just respects her. Like, she just knows what she's doing, and everyone just understands everything well in her class.
20 years ago, Mrs. Lord sparked an interest in science for then 8th grader Tyler Westrope, who is now a staff engineer with the city of Billings.
I think any science teacher needs to really engage students and bring how cool science is on a real life daily level that kids can relate to and appreciate. And that's what she did.
Let's take this idea here and see how we can apply this information to what's going on in the atmosphere.
Much has changed since Mrs. Lord started teaching. She says, namely technology, a lightning rod pushing forward the art of teaching to full speed ahead.
We've got handheld microscopes that we can plug into the computer and look at things up close. You know, just what the technology has allowed me to do as a teacher has just been phenomenal. I can find examples right away that I can show the kids because with earth science, it's so visual.
But after 3 decades, Mrs. Lord, who says she dearly loves teaching, has decided she and her husband need to experiment with other things, like skiing, hiking, rafting, camping, and backpacking.
The first day of school next year, I am getting in my car and I'm turning south and I'm heading to Yellowstone for a week.
She leaves with a tear in her eye, many fond memories, and advice for the newest generation of science teachers.
Enjoy the kids. Always remember to have compassion in your heart. I don't know if I can do this. You can cut this out, right?
Oh, this is the beautiful part.
Make it real. Make science. Make science so they can see it in the real world. So they see a point for learning what they're learning in the classroom.
Good luck with the next chapter, Mrs. Lord.
Live life, you know, have fun.
You will never be forgotten.
All right, we're done for today.
We have a few more things to tell you about Denise Lord. Her room at West High also was full of numerous awards and artwork from her students. Her husband is retiring from MSU Billings, and all 3 of her children are teachers. Good luck, Mrs. Lord, and happy retirement. We'll be right back with weather.